and that's all I got.
Do you wonder why they didn't use leather?
There wasn't. I don't think there was an abundance of. Was there?
You'd have to kill something to make
Oh
leather.
yeah.
See that? But in the West, right, they buy the Bibles or books, right, in leather, right? You see the point now, right? So the reason why the Buddhists, even the lay people, we remind them not to use the pearls that come from the skin of animals, or even the jacket. Yes?
In the Middle East, they actually use wood for the Bibles. Instead of being leather bound, the Bibles are actually, the covers and everything's made out of wood. It's, I can't remember the wood, type of wood, but it's the wood that they used for that supposedly was used as the cross.
Yeah, you see, and even the shoe. Of course, we have artificial leather here, right? That's okay, but don't buy the expensive one. Yeah. Anyway, so again, so these are the here.
So what's the cost of living over?
What's that?
What's the cost of living over in India and China, since they don't use animals and stuff like that? What's the cost of living on the average?
Where?
The cost of living.
Now? In China, India?
In India, yes.
It's pretty low. Compared with the West. Yeah, so, okay, see that? They wrote the Buddha teaching in this kind of palm leaves. And I don't know, let me use some kind of special chemicals to preserve that kind of leaf, right, for 1,000 years.
Yeah, I was very, like when I read that, I thought they would have had a preserving movement before '94.
No, it's 1,000 years.
Thousands of years, yeah.
Remember, they start to, actually, according to some scholars, they start to write out Buddha teaching in Pali since the 1st or 2nd century BCE up to now. How good is it preserve this kind of things? You see that in Pali? They have some special ways to keep. And one thing I want to mention, I forgot, I don't know whether I have mentioned yet. When we talk about oral tradition, at first, several years ago, before I watched this kind of video clip, I still have some doubt how they preserve the Buddha teaching orally. But until I went to India, 1998, 1999, I saw many Tibetan monks who gathered together in a big monastery and decided the Buddha teaching orally for a month continuously. They have they have the monk who specialized in memorizing the Buddha teaching, the one who specialized in writing the commentaries, the one who specialized in meditation. You understand that? So it depends upon their field. So if they choose to memorize the Buddha teaching, they would put their effort in memorizing that type of teaching. Yes.
So how many volumes are we speaking of?
1,000. Remember at the first time, you asked me how many Buddhist Bible, we had to say 1,000. And next class, we learn more, right? 1,000 of them. And for me, even me, I could not read all up to now. Can you imagine the Buddha, after his enlightenment, he taught for 45 years. Not 5 years, not 4 years, but 45 years. And every day, remember we talked about his daily life? He spoke Dharma, he read, he gave teaching, he gave the advice to many people, visible or to many sessions, visible beings or invisible beings. For 45 years. It's huge. So, that is why this is going quite a lot of times, yes.
So how old was he when he got his enlightenment? Was he 19? Something
No,
like
according to Scott, 35.
35? So he lived a pretty good life.
Yeah, 80 years old.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So again, that is the teaching that now they try to translate. Especially you mentioned about the Pali society. that they start to. I start with this scholar, with this British scholar. He initiated this him he and his wife, Ruth David, initiates this initiates the Pali Text Society to translate the Pali language into English. So now most of them have been translated into English already, but for the Mahayana Buddhist books has not been translated all yet. Okay, let's move on. Okay, how number 9? Oh, sorry, Kristen. You will know still number 8.
Yeah, I just have to add, she pretty much covered everything except for the wood block printing.
Oh, block printing, yeah.
So paper and the printing press were invented in China first, and they used it to create booklets and spread Buddhist text to let the countries that they occupied as well, so like Japan and Korea and stuff. And the royal nobles of the emperor, they would sponsor the printing of it, so that they themselves would be like popular for spreading it.
This is called, it's called printing wood block. That's produced, I think, in the 10th or 11th century. So they cover with ink, right, and put the paper up, and sometimes they scan. That's the way they can print the paper. This is common, right? Probably before we had the digital or computer, right, printer. So we use that kind of what we call the old printing set.
Yes.
What's that?
Typewriter?
Typewriter, kind of, right?
Or before that?
Well, before the when
The printing press.
Printing press, they print the newspaper, right?
They have little pieces of print.
Yeah.
Movable type.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is now is preserved especially preserved in Korea. Now let me put this way so you to understand. When it was at Penn State University, sometime I saw mostly many old people who stood one corner of the building, another corner of the building to pass out the Bible, right? I don't know where this happened here now.
It happens everywhere.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Once in a while or
All the time.
long time?
No, all the time.
All the time?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway. And of course it's only one Bible, but in Buddhist tradition we have thousands.
Right.
And the most of the Chinese emperors, in order to get merit, they like to print Buddhist called Tripitakas, and pass to the monastery, and pass to the public, and pass to other country. It's like a gift from nation to nation. You understand now? So to raise the merit, to raise the blessing, yes.
So now you're trying to say, how do they make it? They take a chisel or something and put the letters in there?
No, this book, the handcraft people,
They
how they
carve
make,
it. They carve
they
it.
carve it. They inspire the wood. They inspire the wood, and that's kind of wooden blocks.
So it's an awful sharp knife then.
And even they inspire the wood in the stone, like during the Ashoka times, they inspire the wood on the pillar. Let me show you this one here. All right here. This is the inspired on the stone. You see. All right here. You see that the stone here? You could not see clearly. This is here. They inspired the wood in the stone by hand. They didn't have any kind of machine up that back there, 1,000 years. Okay. All right. So let us move on then. Okay. Now number 9, Ashley, please. What you have there?
Gene Smith, a Mormon man from Utah, has taken on the task of digitizing thousands of ancient Tibetan texts.
Yes.
Old Tibetan texts are called bats and are said to resemble crickets. Gene keeps these texts behind the old Barney's department store in New York at a place he named the Tibetan Buddhist Resource Center. 1,500 years of teachings are stacked on metal shelves, and there are rows and rows of them covered in red, blue, and orange cloth. He is very passionate about his work and is excited that Tibetan texts are being discovered all over time in places like Mongolia and even the U.S. Library of Congress. Gene traveled to Nepal and India in 2008 to deliver 12,000 digitized texts derived from 20,000 volumes. to 4 lamas of the main Buddhist traditions. The 4 lamas also shared Gene's commitment to discovering texts that were lost in China's Cultural Revolution and continually digitally preserve them. Gene was considered a legend in hundreds of monasteries in Tibet.
Okay, so basically, what do you say then? So that person tried to digitize the Tibetan Canyon, right?
Yes.
And spread to and share with other Tibetan community. Yes.
So I did the same one, and I found something called the Text Encoding Initiative, which was started right after China launched the Cultural Revolution in the 1960s, and actually destroyed a lot of texts and libraries and universities that had been established.
Yeah. You recognize some of this word? Can you read?
Do I recognize it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh really? What's mean? Can you? I could not see clear. What is that?
登録印してくため。
What's mean? It's translation.
Switch.
Okay. Alright, thank you. Anyway, so this is but I can say that is the digital part. This is the version of the Chinese Tipika that I use whenever I do my research. It's that let's say I cut, right? I cut here and copy and paste here, and it will help me to find the word instead of find the word next week. I mean not next week, but this one day we bring the book to you, the Thich book. You see that? It's a cut and paste, and you can find easily. It's pretty quick, but it's different from the past. You have to turn page by page and find. So anyway, so that's the introduction about the Buddhist teaching has been digitized. And I would ask Kevin, you can say quickly.
I said I had.
Oh yeah, you did.
The
Okay.
Digital.
Okay.
I had done the number 9.
Oh, you know number 9. Miss Carrie, can you have anything to
I
say?
didn't do that one because remember I told you I didn't have it written down.
Oh, okay, sorry. So okay.
So I did number 2, the baskets.
Oh, okay, that's okay. We cover that. All right. So I hope you enjoy. Right.
For the Bibles. Instead of being leather bound, the Bibles are actually, the covers and everything's made out of wood. It's, I can't remember the wood, type of wood, but it's the wood that they used for that supposedly was used as the cross.
Yeah, you see, and even the shoe. Of course, we have artificial leather here, right? That's okay, but don't buy the expensive one. Yeah, not to use the pearls that come from the skin of animals, or even the jacket. Yes.
In the Middle East, they actually use wood.
See that? But in the West, right, they buy the Bibles or books, right, in leather, right? You see the points now, right? So the reason why the Buddhists, even the lay people, which you remind them.
And that's all I got on
Do
those.
you wonder why they didn't use leather?
There wasn't, I don't think there was an abundance of, was there?
Because it took
You'd have to kill
Harming.
something to make
Oh,
leather.
yeah.